5-1.
His only 2 losses in his last 14 starts have come against these Rays. You just talked about it, but it's not like he has pitched poorly. In those last 2 starts versus Tampa, Doc has given up just 5 runs with 15 strikeouts in the 13 innings that he has worked, but has lost both games. In his career, he's 11-9 with a very good ERA of about 3.5. versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's take a look at the scouting report for this dominant #1 pitcher. He's got command, he's got presence on that mound, and it's a lot of fun when he pitches. Living on the edge, we saw in the opening that very rarely does he throw balls down the middle of the strike. He's living on the corners, mixing pitches with that great life that he has to his pitches, and razor sharp. The Rays have won 5 times since the start of last season against Roy Halladay. So they have been sharp against Halladay.
Very creative, Pat. We like the scouting report tonight as we look at the lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays with B.J. Upton leading off. Speedster Carl Crawford is number 2 in the order. A good 3 and 4 of Evan Longoria and Carlos Pena. And Ben Zobrist, picked up a few years back from Houston in a trade, makes the All-Star team. He's hitting .300. Pat Burrell, the DH, Gabe Gross in right. Michel Hernandez, a rookie, is the catcher, and Jason Bartlett, an outstanding defensive player, is hitting .338, bats 9th and plays short.
And you look at that team right there and you say, boy, how can they struggle to score runs? They have played 17 games in the month of July. 11 times they have been held to 3 runs or less. With that great team speed and that great home run power production, hard to believe.
So here we go. Time to play a little baseball tonight at Rogers Center. Strike 1 issued to the leadoff man, B.J. Upton. As Halladay's into his windup, he gets a swing, and he comes off the mound to field the ball, throws out Upton, 1 away.
When he's right, the infield is going to be very busy. This is how they will line up defensively. Called up last night, Joe Inglet, when David DeLucci was sent down. He's thrown right into left field. He'll be joined by Wells and Rios in the outfield. Roland, Scutero, Hill, and Overbay. The veteran Rob Barajas behind the plate. Defense, a couple of errors yesterday and a loss to Cleveland. Led to 3 unearned runs in that game yesterday, but that has been a strong point for the Jays this year.
Here's a man who traditionally gives Halladay trouble. Carl Crawford is a .310 hitter career against Halladay, and he's hitting .310 this year. He swings and misses, strike number 2.
He has also flexed his muscles against Halladay in his career. A couple of home runs versus Doc.
The 0-2 offering is in the dirt. On Monday in Chicago, Carl Crawford hit his 3rd career inside the park home run. So he is proof that the defense has to be ready and able whenever he's at the plate. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. He gets a swing and a roller foul. Halladay makes his 19th start of the season. Inside at Rogers Center with the raindrops falling outside. The pitch to Crawford. And here's a ball up the middle, a base hit. And a speedster is aboard with 1 away. That brings us to the Rogers Fastbacks, brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. And tonight is Roy Halladay's 300th career appearance. He's made 273 starts and has worked in relief 27 times.
We were talking about the numbers. Best J ever. Halladay and where he stacks up. Starts, he's 3rd. Complete games, he is 3rd. Still has a ways to go to get Dave Steeb's team record of complete games of 103. Halladay's got 44.
Early on in this game, the Rays have something they did not get in 9 innings against the White Sox yesterday, and that's a base hit. As Crawford takes his lead from first. Oh, so dangerous there. 47 stolen bases so far this year. 1 foot on the carpet for Crawford. They pitch out as Evan Longoria stands in, the number 3 hitter for the Rays.
Best time to go is right out after a pitch out. This is where that speed plays into the defense.
Now Halladay steps off, wants another set of signs. 47 steals for Crawford. So he's 3 shy of his 5th career 50 steal season. And that would put him in select company. There he is with an aggressive lead, not going anywhere. Ball 2 to Longoria, and we bring in the third member of our broadcast team. Here's Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, Joe Madden said there's 3 things you have to do against an exceptional pitcher. You have to have good pitching, you have to play good defense, and the other thing you have to do is take chances. And so I would expect a very aggressive team for the Rays here tonight, first to third, second to home, and of course stealing bases.
That's the way they like to play ball. As Halladay now goes 3-0 on Longoria.
Yeah, especially against a team, Jamie, that is struggling to score runs. Talked about them 3 runs or less. Last year they scored 3 runs or fewer in 38% of their games. This year it's up to 42% of their games they have scored 3 runs or less. So that didn't seem like it was going to be a problem at the beginning of the year, but it certainly is right now.
Halladay gets a strike on Longoria. $11 wins on the year for Doc, 7 here at Rogers Center. 3 losses on the season, 2 to Tampa Bay. As that misses off the plate, and Halladay walks Longoria. Career rankings, 142 wins, puts him second. An ERA of 3.46. As mentioned, 273 starts, third most in franchise history. And 44 complete games, sorry Pat, at a time when pitchers don't really complete them as much anymore, do they?
You look at where he ranks, and he has done that in 10 years. Dave Steve spent 14 years here. 408 starts is the team record.
Well, trouble early for Halladay here. 2 on and 1 out. Carlos Pena swings at the first pitch, hits it high in the air down the right field line. Overbay goes to the wall, and it's about 6 rows too deep. One strike on the dangerous Pena. He gets jammed and falls behind 0-2. And I say dangerous, Pat. He hasn't been very dangerous this month. Pena's only hitting $145 in July and only has 1 home run. This from a man who is tied atop the American League home run column with 3 other players. Mark Teixeira, Justin Morneau, and Russell Branyan of the Mariners all have 24 home runs as well.
Strikeouts have been heard in Tampa this year. Pena has always been a big home run, big strikeout guy. We were talking about them struggling to score runs in the month of July. They are 27th in baseball, last in the American League, averaging 3.5 runs a game. They had a torrid May and June record-wise, and I think one of the reasons why is their offense was very good. They had tied or was first in all of baseball, averaging right around 6 runs a game for 2 months.
A pair of runners on, the 2-strike pitch inside to Pena. The offensive struggles of this team is hard to explain. If you look up and down their lineup, they've got all-stars in Crawford and Longoria. Comeback player of the year at the plate in Carlos Pena. Ben Zobrist went to the all-star game. On 1-2. Swung on and missed, and Halliday strikes out Pena.
So I mean, strikeouts have been a problem for him. That good, hard, cutting fastball from Halliday gets it under the bat of the big swing from Pena. The first 6 hitters in their lineup are on pace to strike out more than 100 times. So they get on, they hit home runs, they've got a lot of speed, but they strike out in big situations, and there was one of them right there.
With 2 away, here's Ben Zobrist, who goes after the first pitch, flies to center field. Vernon Wells parks under the ball, makes the catch, and gets the out. The Rays leave 2 on a base hit and a walk, and the Blue Jays bring Marco Scutaro to the plate when we return.
Fantasy 411 returns on home plate XM 175 and Sirius 210. Here's Corey Schwartz and Corey Gottlieb.
Yep, that's all true. I'm Corey Schwartz. Corey Gottlieb is right here at 7:30. We'll have Jennifer Langosh from Pirates.com talking Pirates and trades and all that kind of stuff. At the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, Braves and Brewers on XM 175, so stick around for that. If you want to call the show, 866-MLB on XM. You can email us, fantasy411 at SiriusXM.com. SiriusXM.com, that's what it said. And the blog is fantasy.
Back in Toronto, here is the lineup for the Blue Jays as they begin a 3-game set with the Tampa Bay Rays. And Marco Scutaro has been oh so steady at the top of the order for the team this year. In fact, his name is now prominent in some of the trade rumors that seem to be floating around. So he leads off for the Jays. Notice the new name at the bottom of the order. Joe Inglet, brought up from AAA. The left-handed hitter gets into the lineup, batting ninth against Matt Garza, who is a Blue Jay killer.
Making his 20th start of the season and seeking his first win in 4 trips to the mound. In fact, the last time he won a game was right here against Toronto on June the 30th. He allowed a run over 7 innings as the Rays beat the Jays 4-1. An excellent earned run average, 3.8, just outside the top 10 in the American League. Hard to believe that he has a losing record with the kind of stuff that he takes to the mound.
You saw him peeking at the bill of his cap there. He writes little notes to himself on the underside of his hat to remind himself to remain calm, not get too upset. Matt Garza is an absolute perfectionist who lets a simple base hit get him really
unglued at times. You know, that is not a good characteristic to have if you are a baseball player. The game is hard enough, and you're going to give up hits. You're going to strike out if you're a hitter. You have got to have a short memory if you want to be a baseball player.
He faces Marco Scutaro, falls behind 2-0, and perhaps that explains, Pat, why here is a man on the mound for the Rays who has as good a stuff as you will find in this league, and yet he's only 6-7 on the year.
Yeah, he's got great crisp stuff. He's got a very good ERA. I think the offense might have something to do with that. I don't know what it is, but when he comes to Toronto, he turns it up a notch. His numbers here at the Rogers Center are incredible. And I remember seeing him the first time when he came up and made his major league debut against the Toronto Blue Jays when he was with Minnesota. You can see that he had a good arm, but Blue Jays made sure that his trip to the mound that night was very short. Gave up 7 earned runs.
Garza's making his 20th start of the season. And opponents are hitting just .226 against him. Second best in the American League behind Edwin Jackson's .212.
Same opposition numbers here at the Rogers Center. Take a look at that earned run average. Under 1, and somehow he has 2 losses here at Rogers Center.
And here's Marco Scutaro up there doing what he does best, working the count, grinding out the at-bat. Three balls and 2 strikes. Garza's taking his sweet time and now wants a word with Hernandez, the catcher. You know, Scutaro this year has walked 60 times and struck out only 44 times. He has never finished a season with more walks than strikeouts, but is easily on pace to do that this year.
That differential, one of the best in all of baseball, with walks and strikeouts. Only Albert Pujols and Luis Castillo, the Mets, have a better ratio of walks to strikeouts.
On 3 and 2, it's grounded foul. Well, these career numbers Scutaro is putting up this year are coming at the perfect time. He's a free agent in the offseason. And as J.P. Ricciardi said, quote, there has been a lot of interest in acquiring his services prior to the upcoming deadline. Garza tries again on 3-2. Here's the pitch, and it's aired out to left field. There's Carl Crawford, and there's one away.
Lots of speed in the outfield and a good inner defense. This team is built on pitching and defense. Here's how they'll line up: Crawford, Upton, and Gabe Gross in the outfield. Carlos Pena and Bo Glover. At first base, Zobrist, Bartlett, and Longoria, and Hernandez will get the start again tonight. Remember, Navarro had that foul ball off the head where they had to kind of help him off the field last week. Still feeling the effects of that.
Ball 1 now to Aaron Hill, the number 2 hitter for the Blue Jays. Hill's had a nice little run, hitting 2 home runs in the Cleveland series. He's got 22 on the year. He pops this one up. Hernandez goes over to the Blue Jays dugout and has all kinds of trouble tracking the ball. So it falls harmlessly between he and Evan Longoria.
Yeah, catchable ball right there. Longoria or Hernandez has to come up with that one. It was high enough. Watch everybody on the bench for the Blue Jays just sit there. They're not going to help him. Hits right on top of the water jug. Now, if he was over at his dugout, he'd have his whole team up there helping them and telling them, hey, the steps are there and watch out and we'll help you. You just dive in and make that catch.
Here's the 1-1. And it's fouled away. Did you notice the only 2 members of the Jays who are standing?
The catchers?
Raul Chavez.
Or an ex-catcher.
And Gene Tennis.
I think Gino was just going over to get a glass of water.
Oh, you think so? So it's a ball and 2 strikes on Hill here in the bottom of the first inning as he faces 25-year-old Matt Garza. I know it's early, but right now the battery doesn't seem to be communicating very well. There's a breaking ball down and in.
Well, I don't think Garza really had an idea of what he wanted to do there, 1 and 2. Hernandez put down curveball, he shook him off. He put down slider, he shook him off. He said sinker, no. Okay, changeup, no. Well, he went through all of them, he shook them all off. He went back to the curveball and he said, okay, that's what I want.
Hill didn't go around. There's the call from Paul Emmel down at first. So here's another full count against the Blue Jay batter.
He's got some very crisp stuff, meaning there's late break to it. That was an off-speed pitch. Hill checks up on it.
Mike Estabrook is the man behind home plate tonight as he awaits the 3-2. Here it comes. And it's slashed toward right field. A long way to run for Gabe Gross, but it bounces out of play.
Not a good sign for Tampa. 3-2 on the first two batters of the game. Garza's last time out, he had 5 base on balls, was not sharp. He was able to get Scudero, now 3-2 again to the next batter, and Hill.
Here it comes again. Strike 3 called, and Hill turns away in disgust.
Looked like he crossed up and backed up a breaking ball on him. Hernandez wants that ball on the outside part of the plate, but it backs up and comes over the inside. Aaron Hill can only watch, as you can see from that overhead shot, that it was a strike.
That's great confidence in your breaking stuff. And so with 2 gone, here's Adam Lind. And what a run it's been for Lind. He's hit safely in 13 consecutive games. '51 extra base hits this year, more than anybody else in the American League. The 2-0 pitch fouled away. You're seeing the men who have carried the Blue Jays offense this year, hitting 2 and 3 in the order. Aaron Hill, and now Lind on 2-1. He sends it foul. Lind has 20 home runs and 62 driven in. Hill's been just a shade better with 22 home runs, 63 RBIs. The 2-2 swung on and missed. And after all that, Garza gets a 1-2-3, striking out a pair. We've completed one here at Rogers Center. No score. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet.
Okay, that's no problem. I'll take care of it. All right, guys, she's there, ready to roll.
Back was LCD TV. Go to sportsnet.ca/baseball game and launch it. Settle back and enjoy tonight as Roy Halladay takes the hill for the Blue Jays. First pitch swinging. Here's Pat Burrell flying to right field. He's a 1-pitch out. Halladay in the first gave up a single to Crawford and walked Longoria. He was able to get out of things, though, with a strikeout and a fly ball. So already tonight he's done something he did not do in 9 innings against Boston on Sunday, and that's walk a batter.
Well, he's so good about pounding that strike zone, getting ahead early. That start against Boston, wobbly for Halladay the first part of the game. If you remember, he gave up a run in the first inning on a sacrifice fly, a walk and a stolen base. When he's on, you don't get a lot of shots at him. 14.1 pitches per inning, which is the best in the American League. His walk to strikeout ratio is #1 in the American League also. 6.65 strikeouts for every walk, which is better by 1 over the next guy. That's Zach Greinke. Zach Greinke is about 5.6.
Halladay gets ahead of Gabe Gross. Here's the 0-2. Strike 3. Gross is punched out, and Doc has his second strikeout of the ball game.
We talked about him throwing it or not throwing it down the middle of the plate. Well, sometimes you make a mistake, but if you keep it down, good things are going to happen. This one looks like it splits home plate. Gross gives up on it. Good job by Barajas to hold it there for him. But in that start against Boston, third inning, he gave up a couple of more base runners, and then that was it. He just slammed the door. They had one base runner the rest of the night, and it was vintage Roy Halladay.
Overbay gets Hernandez. A quick second inning for Halladay. And the Blue Jays come to the bat. In the bottom of the second, Scott Rowland leads off. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet.
with the hope that maybe, maybe not next year, but in the year after, they can all kind of come up together, and maybe this team can get back rolling in the right direction. So they'll take anybody. They'll take anybody young and anybody they can have control over for 5, 6 years and beyond.
Jennifer, I don't want to force you to speculate, but let's say for argument's sake, Sanchez and Wilson do get traded out. Who are teams that you think might...
There is a big weekend coming up August 7, 8, and 9 with Baltimore in town, part of the back-to-back celebration. And a 4-pack is being offered by the Blue Jays. This includes tickets to the Yankees series, a 2-gamer, August 4 and 5. That's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. So for more information, please contact the Blue Jays or check out BlueJays.com. Tonight at Rogers Center, I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino, as Scott Rowland comes to the plate first in the second inning. No score in this opening game between the Jays and the Rays. Here's Jason Bartlett throwing out Mr. Rowland. And with one away, that will bring up Lyle Overbay.
Let's take a little closer look at tonight's starter for Tampa Bay. He is a stuff guy, meaning his fastball's got a lot of life. It can be overpowering up to 97 miles an hour. It's been a little inconsistent of late with a slider, changeup, and curveball. And he has been tough on lefties this year. Lefties hitting just a .198. You mentioned that .226 overall batting average against is the 4th in the American League.
Garza has not won a game this month as he faces Lyle Overbay. who's had a very good homestand, going 7 for 18 at the plate. In the field, it's been a bit of a different story for Overbay. If he could take back that fielded ball off the bunt attempt by Grady Sizemore on Tuesday, I'm sure he would.
I thought it was the right play. You know, everybody is saying just get it out, just get it out. But remember, Grady Sizemore, you got a chance to get that guy at second base. You're winning the game. I'd never have a problem with a guy being aggressive. I have a problem with a guy being aggressive stupidly. But I thought that was the right play. If he makes a good throw, he gets him out, I think the Blue Jays win that game. It's just his second error all year. He's been a good fielder. He's got one of the better arms for a first baseman in the American League. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just didn't make the play.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. In fact, the Blue Jays all season long have been the best fielding team in the American League. And yet they just finished that series with Cleveland, in which 2 games were lost and glaring errors were committed that led directly to game-winning runs. As Overbay grounds to second, and he's the second out. And that really illustrates the importance of good defense.
This team did it. Tampa Bay did it. They are built on pitching and defense. You know, if you play good defense, that doesn't go into a slump, just like speed does not go into a slump. It will win you a lot of games. And I'm not talking about just, you know, making the right play. I'm talking about throwing to the right base, doing all the little things that you need to do to help your team win a game. Minnesota, that was their MO for years and years and years, pitching and defense, and it's won them a lot of championships.
Vernon Wells grounds it to third. A tough play for Longoria, but he makes it look easy, and Garza picks up another 1, 2, 3. The ballpark on Sunday, presented by the Ontario SPCA and Pet Network. There will be a parade of dogs beginning around noon out on the field. And in fact, Vernon Wells, his wife Charlene, and their dog Lacey will be leading that parade. Tickets are $33, and that enables you to sit in the dog zone. Jason Fraser and his pooch Cosmo will be involved too, so bring your dog down to the park this Sunday as the Blue Jays take on the Rays. We begin the third with Jason Bartlett. He's the number 9 hitter for Tampa Bay. And Halladay works a strike against him. And these are impressive numbers for Bartlett, hitting .338, the third best average in the American League.
He just qualified the other day.
Just the other day.
Been on the disabled list. So he didn't have the required amount of at-bats to qualify. He does now.
Halladay with a pair of strikeouts already. He's got a 2-2 coming on Bartlett. And he tries to paint the corner but misses.
I think he got the corner, but it was just down. Says home plate umpire Mike Estabrook. Watch this one. He tries to backdoor him with that two-seamer. And it's coming back, and it is on the plate. But you can see from that side angle, it's just low.
Here comes the payoff, and that misses outside, ball 4.
That is something that you don't see a lot of from Halladay. He walked a batter in the first inning, and now a leadoff batter here in the third inning. Halladay came into this game with just 17 base on balls all season long.
Back comes B.J. Upton. 0 for 1 after tapping one back to Halladay in the first. For a little more on Halladay, let's go down and bring in Sam Cosentino once again.
Well, Pat, you're not kidding. And Jamie, if you look at Roy Halladay's last start against the Boston Red Sox, faced 33 batters and threw just 27 balls the whole game. So pretty telling here with 2 walks in the early going.
That is incredible. And this ball is smashed to center field by Upton. Bartlett got the jump. He heads for third. Wells brings it in quickly. And Upton doubles. So the Rays are in business. Second and third, nobody out here in the third inning.
July has been a tough month for a couple of these hitters. B.J. Upton hit it just about 200, but no problem here. This one right down Broadway. Stays on it, does not try and pull it. I think that's the secret against Roy Halladay. You can't try and pull it. If you do, you're going to get a lot of ground ball outs. He stays with it, drives it to right center field, and with his great speed, he makes it in the second easily.
That brings Carl Crawford back to the plate. He singled up the middle his first time up. Fly to center field. Bartlett is back to tag. Here's Wells with the ball. As Bartlett comes in to score, the Rays have a 1-0 lead on a sacrifice fly by Carl Crawford.
RBI number 42 for Crawford. This is a Rays team that was hot when they went into Chicago. Before they went there, they had won 7 of 9. Went into Chicago, lost 3 out of 4 to the White Sox. They scored just 9 runs and hit $165 in that series with 30 strikeouts.
Number 3 man is Evan Longoria. That must have been a strange plane ride from Chicago to Toronto late last night. After this team collectively was the victim of the 18th perfect game in Major League history.
Yeah, especially when you see Mark Burley. He's not intimidating, but boy, can he pitch. I mean, he knows how to throw that ball where the weakness of the batter is. Speaking about weakness, this one looked like it went off the knee or just below, maybe on the shin bone of Evan Longoria.
But Burley, in a way, is a lot like Halladay. Good control, works quickly.
Throws a lot of strikes. Halladay's stuff is a lot better than Burley's. Meaning that it explodes in the strike zone. Burley has to kind of mix and match and add and subtract. The Rays were swinging at a lot of changeups off the plate yesterday. So you mentioned that was the 18th perfect game. Are there more perfect games or 4 homer games in Major League history?
Oh, you got me.
15 4-homer games. What do you think
Rarer
perfect games
still.
would be more rare than
I
four homer games?
totally agree with that.
Yeah, but there have been more perfect games than 4 home run hitting games.
Two strikes now on Evan Longoria. And that's a little low.
Doc wanted that one too. Whenever he walks off the mound like that and puts his head down, he wanted that pitch. Watch the reaction from the big starter. It's over the plate.
And that crosses up Barajas. So Upton's off to third. What do you think here, Pat? Was Barajas expecting a breaking ball and got something a little different?
Yeah, it certainly was. That's where you've got to just be able to try to knock the ball down.
So the infield comes in. Here's the 2-2. And it's lined to left field, falling quickly. Joe Inglet makes a sliding catch and comes up throwing, but Upton comes in. And so the Rays are now on top 2-0.
Back-to-back situational hitting. Good job by Crawford to get a sacrifice fly, and then Longoria. Upton advancing to third base. He's going to score easily on this one. As soon as Joe Inglet has to go down and dive for that ball, no chance that you're going to get up and from there throw B.J. Upton out at the plate.
And so now the bases are clear. Carlos Pena is back up. He struck out in the first inning. The Toronto infield sets itself a little differently for Pena. 3 infielders to the right side, and now Rolen is slowly backing up and a little closer to second base.
Pena has crossed up the opposition in the past by trying to lay down a bunt. But he is not paid to bunt. He is paid to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
The 1-1, a breaking ball, and a dandy gets Pena to swing, so it's a ball and 2 strikes. Two runs in for the Rays here in the third. Halladay with a pitch, tries to get him again inside, and it's 2-2.
You know Halladay is on his A game when his curveball is over for strike. He has not found that yet. He has missed with it a couple of times tonight. You can always tell early when that thing is dropping in the strike zone, and you see a lot of strike threes taken. You know he's got his A game. Right now he hasn't found it. This is a lot like the start he had against Boston. First 3 innings trying to get his footing. A little slippery against a good hitting team in Boston, and then from the 3rd inning on he was great. He stranded 4 runners in his last start in the first 3 innings. So this is a lot like it with a couple of sacrifice flies. A couple of runners left on also.
If there is a hole in Pena's swing, is that where Halladay's pitching him, down and in?
Yep. Don't let them get extended.
Doc tries again. Strike 3. There goes Pena for the second time. Halladay strikes him out. But the Rays pick up 2 here in the third inning and have a lead on the Blue Jays. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet.
Is right there. He has that ability against good hitters to throw a pitch that looks like it's right here, and all of a sudden, boom. Late life at the end, it gets under the bat. Halladay with a gem his last time out.
Well, people are still filing in here at the Rogers Center. They were jammed out front near where the ticket windows are. So many people deciding at the last minute to try and get into this ball game. And so you will likely see the sections expand a little bit as the game progresses. Here in the third inning, it's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up for the Blue Jays. Alex Rios, Rod Barajas, and then Joe Inglet, as Garza gets a strike on Rios. 11 home runs now for Rios. His latest came in that 5 home run outburst by the Jays on Wednesday night against Cleveland. Rios had one. Vernon Wells hit one. Aaron Hill, and then Marco Scutaro, of all people, had a pair.
Ball was just flying out of the Rogers Center that night. It was open. There was some threat of rain. Balls were just carried.
Garza kicks, throws it inside. Now 2-2 on Rios. Ground ball down the line, fielded by Longoria, but the throw is offline, and now Rios heads for second.
You know, A for effort, but maybe knowing the speed of Rios, you might just hold that one. It'll go as an infield single for Alex Rios, and a throwing error by the third baseman, Evan Longoria, number 9. Takes the double play out of order. And he knows after he let that one go, it got by Pena. And the Blue Jays have their first base runner.
That is the first hit surrendered tonight by Garza. And so there is Rios leading off second. Rod Barajas is the batter. And he gets a piece of the first pitch. The Jays collectively, as you just saw, hitting .257 with runners in scoring position. And Barajas is #1 among American League catchers with 42 RBIs this year.
Really paying attention to Rios out at second base. He had 3 stolen bases in yesterday's game, third base a couple of times. So they are staying very close. Tampa has been known to put on pickoff plays and do tricky things like that. Don't know if right now that you would try and steal. Well, with nobody out, you don't want to make the first out at third base. Give that guy a shot to maybe drive you in or get you over.
Nick Leyva at third, keeping an eye on Rios. Here's the 1-1. And a breaking ball gets Barajas. It's now a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, if they do decide to try and steal on Matt Garza, he does a good job of holding runners. He's only given up 1 stolen base this year. Now with 2 strikes on the batter, it looks like the Rays are going to change who's going to keep Rios close.
The 1-2. Fly to center field. Upton is there. He's got a good arm. And Rios won't challenge it. So with 1 away, we remind you that this Sunday is the Blue Jays Webkins Pet Giveaway. The first 5,000 kids under the age of 15 receive one as they enter the turnstiles. Pick up your tickets by logging on to BlueJays.com. You can visit your local Rogers Plus location. And Joe Inglet is back in the big leagues. He was demoted to AAA on the 21st of June when the Blue Jays called up Ross Adams. But he is now back as David DeLucci was designated for assignment yesterday.
DeLucci was 4 for 7 in his career with a home run against Matt Garza.
Yeah, he had some good numbers.
Yeah.
A short resume, mind you, but good numbers just the same. So Inglet's back with the team for a second time. He fouls that one away. The count is 1-1. Pat, you mentioned it, just 1 steal this year against Matt Garza. In fact, opponents have only attempted to steal 3 times all year. What is it about him that makes him so difficult to run on?
He's so quick to the plate. He does a good job of holding runners, varying his count towards the plate. You can see when nobody's on, he's got a very high leg kick to get maximum effort in his pitches. But when there's a runner on or a guy who is a threat to steal, it's not really a slide step. It's like an abbreviated slide step. See that? Very quick to the plate. Pitchers sometimes are afraid to use that slide step because they feel they can't get maximum effort on the ball to the plate.
Pretty critical that when there's somebody on base, though.
Yeah, it's huge. If Rios wants to steal, all he has to do is look in and try and steal a sign there and go on his breaking ball. They aren't holding him on very much.
There's the breaking ball driven to right field. Gross moves to his left, makes the catch. Rios tags up and he advances to third. So Joe Inglet moves the runner over, but Garza picks up a very valuable second out. And that brings Marco Scutaro back up. Scudero worked a full count against Garza in the first inning before flying out to left field. Garza set down the first 6 Blue Jay hitters he saw before allowing that single to Alex Rios. Rios is on third now as Garza comes to the plate with a breaking ball. 1-0 on Scudero. The Blue Jays just haven't scored many runs against American League East teams this year. They average only 3.7 runs per game against the Eastern Division. As Scudero lines it to left field, they'll get one here. There's a base hit that brings home Rios, and the Jays are on the board.
You just love those 2-out RBI hits, and Scudero has been coming up with them all season long. Good short swing by Scudero. Cashes in Rios. Crawford doesn't take a chance of leaving his feet for that one. If he does, he misses it. Scudero is going to be in scoring position. 33 of his 43 RBIs now have come with runners in scoring position. He has just had a sensational half of the year.
Tampa's lead is now 2-1 as Aaron Hill goes after the first pitch. And these are the little things, and we talked about this at the outset, that can rattle Matt Garza. A base hit to lead off the inning. A throwing error committed by Longoria puts Rios at second base. And now a 2-out base hit by Scudero gives the Blue Jays a run. This is whacked to center field. Well hit. And dropped by Upton. He got to the baseball and now can't pick it up. Scudero comes around to tie the ball game as Hill drives him home.
Well, if he was mad before this pitch, he's really going to be mad. This ball right in the wheelhouse of Aaron Hill, and he crushes it to right center field. Upton looks like he has a beat on it with that long glove. It goes right off of the tip of his glove. He has made a lot of circus catches this year. Boots it a little bit out in the outfield, but that is not going to hurt Aaron Hill. Scudero comes barreling around third base to tie it here in the third. And another 2-out hit.
So Hill has his 18th double, and in the process drives in the run that ties the ball game. His 64th RBI of the year. And I don't know if he saw Upton having trouble with a baseball out there on the warning track. He might have been able to pick up third base.
I agree. Ball was still out there when he was coming in the second.
So let's see what Adam Lynn can do with 2 out and a runner at second. Lynn struck out swinging at a 2-2 fastball in the first inning. Here's the 1-1, a little tapper. Picked up by Longoria. He gets Lind at first, and that's the inning. But the Blue Jays get 2 runs on 3 hits and tie this one after 3. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Minutes time, and here's your chance to sign up for the Blue Jays fan club. It costs just $20. You receive a membership pin and discounts on merchandise and concessions, as well as access to special batting practice dates and autograph sessions. If you'd like more information, look at the website bluejays.com/fan club. So the weather has obviously improved since we entered the building at about 4 o'clock Eastern time. It's been closed since then, but now they crack it open as Roy Halladay pitches to Ben Zobrist. Here's the 4th inning of play. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino tonight. This one has been billed as perhaps the last appearance by Roy Halladay in a Blue Jay uniform. His next scheduled start would be Wednesday in Seattle, and that's an afternoon game that begins at 40 minutes past 4 Eastern time, 1:40 Pacific. And perhaps to avoid all the confusion and conjecture that might lead up to it, J.P. Ricciardi has made it clear that if a trade is to be made, it will be done by the 28th of July. That's Tuesday. There's the 2-2 to Zobrist, and he got him. And Zobrist won't even hang around and ask questions.
4 strikeouts now for Halladay. The 3rd one taking. You can't give up on that ball right there. You think it's going to slide in under your hands. You take it, and it just clips the inside corner. So 4 strikeouts, 3 by taking. Shows he's got some good movement.
The effectiveness of that pitch, Pat, seems to be illustrated well in the sense that Zobrist seems to want to jackknife out of the way initially.
And then, whoop, oh, hold on now.
Wait a second, that's across the heart of the plate. And so here's Pat Burrell. And look at these numbers, a .228 average for Burrell, just 6 home runs in his first year with the Rays. Is this a simple case of there being better pitching in the American League? Because the man at the plate spent his entire career, I believe, in the National League.
Well, remember, he's learning the league, and he's been hurt. He spent a lot of time on the disabled list this year with that neck problem.
He bounces to Hill. 2 gone, 4th inning. And for some, there will not be joy without Roy. And don't we know that? What a pleasure it is to watch this man work every 5 days.
It certainly is. Just his prep work. That game we have talked about his last time out, Sunday, complete game. Just got stronger and stronger as the game went along. Ball grounded down. I threw 105 pitches in that game, and I came down to the field the next day. It was an off day for the Blue Jays. It was Monday. I brought my kids down, and we're playing down on the field about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And who comes strolling out? Roy Halladay to work out.
On an off day.
On an off day. And I'm like, come on, boys. That's what it takes to be a big leaguer. Right there.
What a fine example for your 2 twins.
Came out here with his pitching coach. Brad Arnsberg came out, and they worked on a few things. Special player.
He's got 2 strikes on Gabe Gross. And that one is foul. Roy really seems to lock in when the public eye is on him. Remember all of the media attention that surrounded his facing off against A.J. Burnett. And then he went out against the Yankees and twirled a gem, defeating his old friend and teammate. Strike 3. Oh, never in question this time either. A 1-2-3-4 for Roy Halladay. He is really starting to warm up here. And the game currently tied at 2. You're watching the Jays on Rogers Sportsnet.
The fourth inning now. My seat is directly located right in front of the scouts' seats, and as you can look beside me, just 2 scouts here taking in this game, and obviously everyone knowing what Roy Halladay is doing at this point, but with some other potential names being mentioned, I figured this would be a packed spot. I did see maybe 1 or 2 more up in the press room before the game, but pretty empty here tonight, guys. Kind of surprising.
Well, that man you just saw was Charlie Kerfeld, who works for the Philadelphia Phillies. And he's not just some area scout. When the Phillies want to look at a potential acquisition, he's the man they send, a former pitcher in his own right with the Houston Astros.
And he might not just be watching Roy Halladay. They had 2 players go on the disabled list from their bullpen today. They might be looking for some help there also.
Well, we sat with Charlie at dinner tonight, and he said, I'm only in for tonight's ball game. I'm heading out tomorrow. And that tells you a lot. Here's Scott Rowland, once a Philly himself. Boy, how good would that Philadelphia Phillies team become if they were to acquire Roy Halladay?
You know, Pat Gillick believes that when you have a chance to win, you go for it. And you combine him with
base hit. Into the corner it goes. As Rowland picks up a double to lead off the Jays' 4th.
Time to bring him around now. 3 of the last 4 batters have reached via the base hit. This is the 2nd double for the Jays. Breaking ball and rolling with that good short swing. Look at that approach. Excellent hitting right there. Rips it down the left field line. 28 doubles now for Rowland. 27 games in a row the Blue Jays have hit at least 1 double. They lead baseball in the amount of 2 baggers they have hit this year.
That comes Overbay, and he airs it to left field. Crawford comes in and makes a diving catch, and that keeps Rowland parked at second.
See, that's where speed heads right to it. Doesn't show up in the box score, but right there's evidence of speed. Taking away a base hit from Lyle Overbay and an RBI. He had some closing speed on that ball that was sinking quickly. They can cover a lot of ground in the outfield here, the Tampa Bay Rays, with that good speed out there. To finish that point, yes, Halladay, Hamels, Happ, pretty good to me.
Good bullpen.
Joe Blanton.
Lots of hitters.
But we will not talk about that.
No.
That's, you know, I don't say what
Pure
if.
conjecture.
Yeah, pure. You know, we will see. And if you know Roy Halladay, all he's thinking about is this start right here. He's not thinking about all that.
He's hoping to get a little run support here as Vernon Wells works at 3-0.
Turn him loose here. 3-0. Look for a ball right in your sweet spot and try and untie the game.
Garza sets. Here comes the pitch. And he was swinging. If he was swinging on 3-0, is he swinging on 3-1? Yes, indeed. And he fouls it back. Vernon really heard it from the fans here after his ground out to third in the second ended the inning. Trying to turn those jeers into cheers right now. One gone, rolling at second. Tied at 2 here in the fourth inning, and now Garza wants a meeting again with Hernandez. And these numbers are tough to explain. A 172 average at home, a robust 332 on the road. Fouls that one back and out of play.
He's getting pitches to hit. The last 3 fastballs were all good pitches that you could turn on.
They go breaking ball. That had the look of a defensive swing from Wells.
Three straight fastballs and then confidence in that curveball. And that is a emergency hack right there.
And look at him smiling at Garza. Feeling like he survived. Garza tries again and gets him with a breaking ball this time. What was 3-0 is now a strikeout looking, and back walks Vernon Wells.
Garza came into this game 9th in the American League in strikeouts. You can see why with that good overhand curveball. 3-2 confidence in it. You got a base open. If you walk him, you set up the double play. But he gets Vernon Wells, who gives up on that curveball for the second out.
And now Alex Rios again. Rios picked up an infield single in the third and advanced to second on Longoria's throwing error. He then came home on a 2-out base hit by Scudero, who scored himself on a 2-out double by Hill. So both runs have been cashed with 2 away. Let's see if Rios can do it here. 1-0 as Garza comes to the plate in at the belt, and it's 2-0. Scott Rowland is at second with a leadoff double. And now Rios sends it out of play. Check swing, and that rolls right to Pena at first. That's about as easy a play as he will get defensively. And that ends the 4th inning. The Jays get that leadoff double, but they can't bring him home, and this game remains knotted at 2. Canada Trust Comfort Zone, and enjoying the chairs tonight. Our Flashback Friday winners. Not to mention Alex Gonzalez, who's found a seat down there. We hope to hook up with a former Blue Jays shortstop at some point here. And as the Blue Jays and Rays are involved in game number 1 of a 3-game series. They'll play again tomorrow here at Rogers Center as Brian Tallett gets a start. He'll go up against big left-hander David Price. Fly ball to right field and playable for Rios. And with that, Michel Hernandez is gone with the first out here in the 5th inning. Well, that big weekend is slowly approaching. And the big night here at Rogers Center is August the 7th, when most members of the 92 and 93 teams will be honored. You'll get a chance to meet some of your favorite players from those years. And here's some great news. Pat Borders has been found. And in fact, he's coming. Somehow, some way, Joe Carter has tracked down Pat Borders. That's been one of the great mysteries of this wonderful promotion.
You know, I would imagine a lot of collectors over the years. I've seen baseballs and programs from the World Series where they try to get all the players and the coaches and everybody involved on that. This is a great time because everybody have not been together like this since 92 and 93.
Since the parades.
This is the first time in what is that, 16, 17 years?
Yep.
That they're going to be together. So I would imagine if you are into that kind of stuff, here's a great chance to come out, get World Series balls and programs and ticket stubs or whatever you have laying around and get it signed by all the guys.
You'll have ample opportunity as well, because there'll be a 45-minute autograph session on the Friday night, and you can pretty well get everybody's signature. You can check BlueJays.com for a list of who will be where, as Halladay gets a swing and a miss from Bartlett.
Late life, and it looks like he is starting to find that groove. Bartlett waves at that one. He is retired. 6 in a row now, 4 of them with strikeouts.
B.J. Upton is back, 1 for 2. He doubled, stole a base, and scored in the 3rd. Here's the 1-1. He runs it inside. Jams Upton, who flies it to right field, and Halliday gets a 1-2-3 fifth inning. It happens that quickly when Doc's on the mound. Still 2-2 here in Toronto. Kids 14 and under can collect 3 stamps in the Passport program and get a miniature Adam Lind bobblehead doll. As usual, all kinds of things to do outside the building prior to the ball game, and when it's over, they line the field with barriers and send the kids out. You can run the bases and feel what it's like to be a big leaguer trotting around the bases here at Rogers Center.
They don't trot, do they?
No, they don't. They run full tilt
out there, sprint,
and the kids are discouraged from sliding into home because there are so many other kids coming in behind. It'd be like a big mess of bowling pins, all falling all over one another. Here's Rod Barajas, the Blue Jays' number 8 hitter and catcher. He'll be followed by Joe Inglet and then Marco Scudero in the Blue Jays' 5th. That is ripped foul. One and two. Garza with a kick and the pitch, and he gets him. There goes Barajas. Couldn't hold up in time, and Garza has his 4th strikeout.
Shows you the kind of stuff that he possesses. Sharp, hard, tough on right-handers. He's also tough on left-handers. This is a team, Tampa Bay, that their pitching has been very good. Their bullpen has been very good. One of the best records in baseball from about the end of April till now.
Back comes Joe Inglet, who gets jammed and yanks it foul. They got off to a slow start, and that left a lot of people in Tampa scratching their heads. By the middle of May, this team was 4 games under 500, and it might just be that lengthy playoff run, all those young arms who threw so many innings last year, might have had some kind of an effect at the beginning of the season, as Inglet lines it softly to Longoria, and he's gone for out number 2.
Well, they did something interesting, that they came to spring training late, and they took their time in spring training. with the WBC and with all the innings that you were just talking about in the postseason last year, that they really wanted to ease their starters into this season. So the month of April was almost like the end of spring training as they worked themselves up into game shape. But since right at the end of April till now, they have one of the better records in the American League.
First pitch swinging, and Scudero hits it high in the air into shallow left field. Crawford makes the catch, and the 5th inning comes to an end. We're still tied at 2 as Halladay comes back out to work the 6th. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. TD Canada Trust Comfort Zone is a very popular member of this team. When he was a shortstop with them, we see Alex Gonzalez, who joins us now on Rogers Sportsnet. Hello, Alex.
How you guys doing?
Welcome back to Toronto.
Thank you. It's comfortable in these seats. I'll sit here any day to watch a ball game.
The game looks different from there, doesn't it?
It looks a lot easier from the seats.
That's what they all say as Carl Crawford steps in to face Roy Halladay. Well, you were a mainstay here for so many years. And then in 2001, you were traded to the Chicago Cubs. So you're one of those players who's got a very good idea as to what it feels like to be traded.
You know, it is tough for any player. And I don't like any player to have to go through having to play and think about maybe the next day not being on that ball club, because it's so hard. You got to stay focused. And Doc Holliday obviously is doing a great job today with all the rumors going around.
He gets Crawford here to ground out. You know, in your case, you left the Jays in December after the 2001 season. Was that deal made easier by the fact it didn't happen in the middle of the year?
Absolutely. When it's in the offseason, you have time to mentally prepare and change your mindset to another club. But in the middle of a season, you're already part of the team for three to 4 months, and then having to change and making the transition to a new team is very difficult.
Yeah, one day you'd be here, the next day you're on a plane and you're playing with a different team.
You have to meet new players, new coaches, new philosophies on a team, and all of a sudden you're trying to catch up for the last 2 months of a season.
This Tampa team is a team you played for, Alex.
Yeah, believe it or not, the whole infield is completely different from the last time I played on there. I only know a couple of the players. They've totally revamped this club.
Well, the guy who took your position is at the plate right now, Evan Longoria, as he takes ball 2 from Roy Halladay. And, of course, after Tampa Bay, did you not end up playing a few games with the Phillies?
Yeah, I was with the Phillies for 2 months before I decided to retire.
Was that an easy decision, or is it, as they say, it's like you play until they have to rip that jersey off your back?
It was at that time. I was at a point in my career where I really wasn't playing. I had one game in a month, and I was looking around me, and Pat Gillick luckily was the GM where I had a good communication with him, and we decided that I really wasn't going to get that kind of playing time or more than what was happening, and no other club was really interested in getting me a starting position, so I just decided it was time to retire.
Here comes the 3-2 to Longoria, and it's a ground ball for Hill. He throws out Longoria. Now, you played with a very young Roy Halladay. How has he changed, Alex?
Well, I remember him when he first came up. He had a really hard time getting guys out because he had a straight fastball, always threw the ball hard, and was always a workhorse. But when he got sent down, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to Halladay, and worked with Mel Queen and got some more movement and changed his arm slot to get that sinker, to get that cutter. And now he doesn't have to rely on blowing it by guys. He can actually pitch and get easy early outs, ground balls, jam broken bats like that one right there.
Hey, do you mind hanging around? That was a pretty quick inning.
I'm here whenever you want.
All right. We'll have Alex Gonzalez join us for the bottom of the 6th inning with the Blue Jays and Rays tied at 2. What a wonderful sight here as the roof cracks open, and we are playing outdoors now in a game that began inside. It's the Blue Jays and Rays tonight on Rogers Sportsnet. So glad that you're with us for what may in fact be the final appearance by Roy Halladay in a Blue Jays uniform. Jays half of the 6th upcoming, and Aaron Hill, Adam Lind, and Scott Rowland come to the plate against Matt Garza. Our guest in the TD Canada Trust Comfort Zone is former Blue Jays shortstop Alex Gonzalez, who must know some of these players quite well because I saw you wearing the uniform in spring training this year, Alex.
Yeah, I got to know a lot of these players, and just following them, I actually had a chance to play against them, so I know some of their strengths. But Aaron Hill is one of the players who's up to bat right now, who had such a great approach at the plate, and I'm really happy for him. For a great guy, Aaron has been able to come back this year and put up some good numbers.
Alex, we were talking earlier today about what you are doing now. Talk to the fans and tell them what you're involved in now.
Well, like I was saying to you earlier, Pat, we've got a baseball academy for youth baseball down in Miami, and really trying to build a good atmosphere and the right kind of teaching for the youth in that area, which is, to me, is lacking because of the different kind of leagues that kids can go to. And really, the academy is bringing in ages between 4 years old all the way up to 13 years old, where they can go to the academy and also play competitive baseball.
And what a hotbed it is for baseball, too, Alex. You think of the players that come out of southern Florida, Southern California, the southern states like Arizona. I mean, that is one of the areas of the United States which tends to produce a lot of big league ball players, yourself included.
So many baseball players are coming out of Miami and actually still live in Miami. Ex-ball players that live in Miami. Raul Ibanez, Placido Polanco, Jose Cruz, all these players are still living in Miami that I'm bringing into the academy to offer instruction to kids, and it's just a great atmosphere for them to learn. And I also want to try to make a connection with Major League Baseball and the RBI program, which would be an outstanding opportunity to bring inner city and underprivileged kids into the program that cannot afford it. So I've always wanted to give back. As a player, I didn't have much of an opportunity, but now that I'm an ex-player, I can give back to a community where you have players in certain areas that can't be a part of an academy like this, and now I want to offer that chance in scholarship programs, etc.
You say you want to get Major League Baseball involved because of their RBI, reviving baseball in the inner city. How is yours different than the one MLB has?
Well, RBI program is traditionally for the older players between 13, 14, 15 years old, and really never had a program for younger kids. And now Major League Baseball has come with a program called Junior RBI program, which is actually more geared for 6 to 12-year-old kids.
Well, listen, Alex, we got to cut it short, but thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Great to see you again.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Good luck with the academy, Alex.
Thanks, Pat.
Okay.
Six innings have been played, and here are the lines for our respective starters tonight. As Halladay gets a line shot to center field from Ben Zobrist, and he lines out as Vernon Wells catches up to the ball. One pitch and one out. That seems to be Halladay's signature.
Yeah, this is starting to look like the game that we all thought it was going to be, as Zobrist crushes the ball to center field, but that one's going to be run down. 13 in a row set down by Halladay. He's getting stronger. The same with Matt Garza. He's retired 10 of the last 11 batters that he has faced as we head into the seventh.
Here's Pat Burrell again. The DH is 0 for 2. And with all the talk about this being perhaps Roy Halladay's last game in a Blue Jay uniform, it wasn't surprising to see double the media hanging around batting practice today. There have been some outlets coming up from the United States, all kinds of different writers from around North America. As Halladay throws the 0-2 outside. And it was kind of fun listening to Cito Gaston speak to the assembled media before the game. John Lott, who writes for the National Post, asked the first question. He said, "Did you think calling up Joe Inglet would cause such a fuss?"
Yes. The answer was yes.
A short yes. Well, this crowd is certainly starting to come alive, and it seems to be getting bigger by the inning as Halladay sets for the 2-2, and now Burrell backs off. Burrell won a World Series with Philadelphia last year, and then as a free agent promptly joined the team he helped beat. This is first year with Tampa Bay. The 2-2 on the way, and it's over the head of Halladay, charged by Scudero. He throws out Burrell. 2 down. Let's get a word now from Sam Cosentino.
Jamie, you mentioned all the media outlets that were here to try and get some information on Roy Halladay. Very interesting over the last couple of days. We've heard so much from J.P. Ricciardi, and today with that assembled media, he commented that there will be no further comment on the Roy Halladay situation until the 1st of August, obviously after the trade deadline. So the word is mum here right now.
Well, and that's the way Roy would like it. We know he's not very interested in having to talk about the prospects of getting traded.
Yeah, he just wants to talk about his game. He said he'll talk after tonight's ball game. And that's just the way it should be.
He has retired 14 straight as he faces Gabe Gross, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
You know, and doing it efficiently again, like we talked about at the top of the show. He has the best or the lowest pitches per inning of anybody in the American League. And he's on pace tonight to make that even better. That's a good pitch right there. Here's the graphic that we showed you early. 14.1 pitches per inning to get through that. Well, if you multiply that times 7, since it's the 7th inning, that's 98 pitches that it would take him. He's way better than that now.
He's at 86 right now. Here's the latest. And on 3-0 gets a ground ball from Gross, who's thrown out by Aaron Hill. How about that? In danger of walking him. He induces the ground ball and gets a 1-2-3 7th. Vintage Halladay on display tonight in Toronto. Still tied at 2 at Rogers Center. Into the bottom of the 7th inning, and it's turned into quite a pitcher's duel, Pat.
First pitch strikes for Halladay. This is a lot like, again, his Boston start, his last time out, where he is wobbly at the beginning but then dominant the rest of the way out as he pitched that complete game. Just 88 pitches for Halladay. Garza's right behind him. 77 pitches through 6 innings. He's only given up 4 hits. Got to figure out a way right now to get a run across any way you can. Jays had a good opportunity in the 4th inning with a leadoff double by Scott Rowland, but they left him out there. That's the last time they had a base runner.
Ball 2 to Lyle Overbay, who bats 5th tonight. He'll be followed by Vernon Wells and then Alex Rios. Overbay's had quite an inconsistent season. He'll get red hot for a week and a half, and then go without a hit of any kind for about a week. Very streaky.
RBI also.
Sure.
Drove in his first in about a month. A couple of games ago.
Two and one. Got him. Boy, that was nasty. Tremendous late life, and there goes Overbay, a strikeout victim here in the 7th inning.
As we get deeper and deeper into the summer, starting pitching usually comes right to the forefront. And if you look at the teams in the American League Eastern Division, I've got a good argument that Tampa has the best starting pitching in the AL East. I know Boston has Beckett. They have Daisuke coming off the DL, and they've got John Lester, who are pretty dominant. And I know the Yankees have Sabathia and Burnett, but the depth that the Rays have with their starters.
Here's Wells. High and deep to center field. Back to the track is Upton, and it's a long fly out. Commentator clothing is provided in part by Zizenia. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. Two gone, 7th inning, and Alex Rios is back up there for the 3rd time. 1 for 2 tonight.
Tampa's a team that I think with all those starters they have, they're still looking to get good with the trade deadline coming up.
And you know what's been impressive is the fact that the changeover in their rotation hasn't really hurt them. They've got a young kid, David Price, who we'll see tomorrow, who really wasn't a factor in their rotation at all last year. Nor was the kid we'll see on Sunday, Jeff Neiman, who's been a pleasant surprise.
He's been great for him when you look at the numbers. Andy Sonnenstein, who won 16 games for him last year, is in the minor league, so there's some more depth. If somebody gets hurt, they can just reach down and bring up a proven big leaguer. We heard about Price last year, but it was in the playoffs when he came out of the bullpen. But they're still looking around that maybe they need an arm. I read a piece in the newspaper about maybe Tampa Bay being involved in the Cliff Lee trade. Wouldn't be surprised if they called and asked about Halladay, what it would take.
You know, J.P. Ricciardi was asked that question, would you deal Roy Halladay to an American League East team? And the reason he didn't rule it out is because Halladay in a year and a half can be a free agent, and like A.J. Burnett, could easily sign with a team within this division. There goes Rios, and Garza is matching Roy Halladay pitch for pitch tonight. He gets the side in the 7th, and after 7, it's the Rays 2 and the Jays 2. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. 1 Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. It's the Blue Jays and Rays. David Price goes for Tampa Bay. Brian Talent gets his first start in a while. Thrown into the rotation mix. They'll take a 5-6 record up against the Rays. And I said that Garza and Halladay are really dueling pitch for pitch. Quite literally, that's pitch number 89 for Halladay tonight. But prior to that, both men had thrown 88. Both had thrown just 30 balls. Both men had thrown exactly 58 strikes. And now Halladay says, well, the heck with this. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 yet again here in the 8th inning. As he gets 2 strikes quickly on Michel Hernandez, the catcher. Boy, he is locked in late in this game, and he just got the catcher on 3 pitches.
3 curveballs, 7 strikeouts now. Everybody's getting pizza. You know, it's the break that he has, but it's also where he throws it.
That's a pretty good percentage. Even the doctor on the right there
nice
wearing the trench coat. There's Jason Bartlett again. One of Halladay's strikeout victims tonight.
Well, I've just figured out one way to shut down the running game.
Let me guess. Don't let them get on base in the first place.
16 in a row for Halladay now. That'll certainly shut it down.
Indeed.
You know, I was just thinking, boy, they have ways of manufacturing runs. Bartlett's got 20 stolen bases, hitting over 330. Upton, Crawford. They've got guys who can run and they can do the little things. That doesn't matter.
Here's a shot to the corner and a base hit for the Rays. A double with 1 out in the 8th inning. Tampa's first hit since B.J. Upton doubled in the 3rd. And they finally break that run of consecutive batters retired.
Throwing some good curveballs this inning. He struck out Hernandez with a good one. This one just kind of hung over the plate. Couldn't get out there and finish it. That curveball. And Bartlett again hitting about 337 entering that at bat. Hits it hard down the left field line.
16 straight retired until Bartlett doubles into the corner. And now Halladay will call upon his best stuff to get B.J. Upton. The leadoff man is 1 for 3. Can't get him to chase a pitch outside. It's 1-0. Upton grounded out to the pitcher in the 1st. Doubled to center field in the 3rd. And lined out to right in the 5th inning. The Rays are playing the final 3 of a 10-game road trip. They swept the Royals in Kansas City, won only once in 4 against Chicago, and now begin the first of 3 here against the Blue Jays. And they will meet again in Tampa on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of August. Drilled to center field. And Wells makes the catch. Bartlett was leading off second, so no chance to advance there. Upton hits it on the screws, but hits it right at Wells.
Now some decisions. I think that's why Ron Barajas is out there to talk to Halladay. You mentioned the numbers. Crawford against Halladay this season and in his career over 300. They have first base open. Do you want to face Carl Crawford, 2 outs, a runner at second base? Or do you want to pitch around him, see if he gets himself out? And if you walk him, you take on Evan Longoria.
J.P. Ricciardi's got his BlackBerry in hand. Who knows if it's buzzing?
Was he punching things in? I didn't tell if he was punching.
He wasn't then.
Okay.
So let's see what Barajas and Halliday decided here. Crawford's got a base hit already tonight and a run driven in on a sacrifice fly. And how about this indecision?
Yeah. Well, it's just, what should we do here? What sign do we want to use with the runner at second base? I think that's why we see Aaron Hill jog in to find out what they're going to use. And also, what's the plan? With a base open, do you pitch around him? He's having a fabulous year, hitting .311, 9 home runs, 42 driven in.
Challenge fastball. He swings and misses. Halliday ready with pitch number 100 on the night. And that's a foul ball to get ahead of Crawford, 0-2.
About the fourth time we've seen that tonight by a Tampa Bay Ray hitter. Good, hard, late movement from Halliday, and they just kick it right off their lower half.
24,000 and change tonight. Most of them on their feet now, sensing a strikeout. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he got him. Goodbye, Carl Crawford. Halliday sets him down and leaves Jason Bartlett standing on second base.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Well, now we know what Halliday and Barajas decided to do when facing Carl Crawford and first base open.
You're not beating me.
Go after him.
Go right after him.
He gets Crawford to strike out in the 8th inning, leaving a man in scoring position. Here come the Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler, Sam Cosentino, and in the booth tonight, our Sportsnet.ca columnist and statistician Scott Carson. So glad you've joined us on a beautiful night for baseball here in Toronto, the first of 3 between the Rays and the Jays. We'd like to take a moment to wish a happy belated 61st birthday to Bob Goluska, who's watching tonight in Kitchener, Ontario. Chances are you're enjoying this one, a 2-2 game and a pitcher's duel being waged between Halliday and Garza. Here's the 1-1 and a fastball low. Barajas fouls it back. These American League East teams have given the Blue Jays all kinds of fits this year. Toronto is just 11-20 against the East. Against all other teams, they are 36-29.
Averaging over 5 runs a game in those games.
This one headed towards center field, and Barajas has a base hit. He's held to a single. So Barajas drops one in center field. And like the Rays, the Jays finally get a hit here against Garza.
He's so good at pitches down in the strike zone. Hit a double for a couple of RBIs the other night. This time drops head on a sinking fastball into left center field. So a leadoff single by Barajas in the 8th inning of a tie score. He will be lifted. Johnny Mack comes in as a pinch runner, and a guy at the plate in Joe Inglet who can handle the bat. So some options for Cito Gaston. Probably see him square around and bunt and give Scudero and Hill a chance to get the go-ahead run in and at the plate.
Evan Longoria is aware of this. The Rays' third baseman begins to creep in from his position as Inglet now backs off. Inglet back up from AAA, where he was hitting .379. Now he squares and pops it up, and McDonald is caught off first. He was running on the play, and there are 2 quick outs for the Tampa Bay Rays. What a break for Tampa Bay.
There goes Johnny Mack, and the ball is bunted up in the air, and it's easy pickings from there for Garza as he doubles off McDonald. I don't know if that was a hit and run that somebody missed. There is a play in baseball, the bunt and run. You start that guy, you bunt that ball, maybe he can get all the way to third base, but once the ball is in the air, no chance to advance the runner.
Well, Garza says thank you so much. And now pitches to Marcos Scudero with 2 out and the bases clear. And you talk about a play that will kill the enthusiasm of the crowd. That base hit to lead off the inning by Barajas got the crowd going in a game tied in 2. The speedy McDonald comes in and replaces the catcher at first base. And now there are 2 strikes here on Scudero. The count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Garza. A breaking ball in the dirt. So it's 2-2. It has been quite common to see Scudero this year fall behind 0-2 and then work it back, make that pitcher really work to try and get a 3rd strike.
Yeah, next thing you know, it's 3-2, and then he's back in the driver's seat.
There you go. Belted to center field. And there is B.J. Upton backing up. He makes the play, and the Blue Jays are gone in the 8th inning after getting a leadoff single. Well, Roy Halladay deadlocked at 2 tonight at Rogers Center. They'll be coming back out here to work the ninth against the Tampa Bay Rays when we continue on Sportsnet. Burger King, home of the Whopper.
Looked like the Blue Jays had the inning set up after a leadoff single. They try to advance the runner, but Joe Inglet pops the ball right back to Matt Garza with the runner running. An easy double play turned in by the Rays.
Visit BlueJays.com to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Superfan Contest as Nick Leva goes over details of that misplay with John McDonald.
So somebody missed a sign. We're not sure if it was the hit and run put on or the sacrifice bunt put on, but it didn't work out.
Here's something you've witnessed before if you're a fan of Roy Halladay. He's pitching into the ninth inning. Tied at 2 tonight against Tampa Bay. Evan Longoria up first. Here is the 2-0 pitch, and that's a called strike. 2-1. Longoria was a unanimous selection last year as the American League Rookie of the Year. He hit 27 home runs. He fouls that one back. It's 2-2. Raul Chavez is the new catcher after Barajas was taken out for a pinch runner. Here's the pitch to Longoria. Low for ball 3. Longoria needs confirmation of the count with Mike Estabrook. He's got it. That's 3-2. Here comes Roy. Ball 4. Halladay walks 3 in a single game for just the second time all year. And this is the leadoff man in the ninth.
His first walk since the 3rd inning, and it didn't miss by much. Looked like a cutter down and away. And from our overhead camera, you can see it's just off the plate. Good at bat right there from Evan Longoria.
He has not had a problem with the next hitter tonight. Halladay has struck out Carlos Pena twice and got him to line out to short his last time up. Here's Pena fouling the ball out of play down the left field line.
You know, by walking Evan Longoria, him on first base changes the way that the Blue Jays are going to defend Carlos Pena. They have that exaggerated shift on when nobody's on. Now there's a hole on the right side because Scudero has to stay up the middle. He has to be there to turn the double play. A little bit more responsibility for Aaron Hill on the right side. Got to cover a little bit more ground.
The 0-1. Now 2 strikes. Bye-bye. Pena's gone.
Third time tonight that Carlos Pena has gone down via the strikeout. The second one, look at it. Gives up on a breaking ball from Halladay, and he puts it right on the outside part of the plate. Strikeout number 9. And a home run threat is sent back to the bench.
A home run threat comes to the plate. Here's Ben Zobrist. He falls behind 0-1. Zobrist at times has been mentioned as a possible MVP candidate in the American League. A switch hitter who can play a variety of positions, hitting for average, hitting for power. Top of the ninth, one away, 0-1. Here's Halladay. And now an 0-2 count.
He was hot before that Chicago series, just like the team was. 457 in his previous 9 games, but Chicago handled him. Just 3 for 14. Halladay ahead now, 0-2.
Nine strikeouts on the night. Make it 10. There goes Zobrist.
Just refuses to throw a ball in the middle of the plate. Painting the corners all night tonight. It's right there. Can't argue with that one. Look at Zobrist point to its outside, but that's clearly right on the corner.
Halladay's just feeding off this crowd right now, but there's a blooper to center field. And Longoria heads over to third on the base hit by Burrell. Keeps the inning alive for the Rays. Burrell, who has struggled mightily this year with Tampa Bay, gets a critical base hit here in the 9th inning.
Strength. He just fisted this ball out into center field. Jammed by Halladay. Falls out into short center. And Longoria with 2 outs running hard all the way makes it easily in the third.
So you've got 2 men on and 2 gone. And Gabe Gross is the batter. 0 for 3 tonight. Twice a strikeout victim. Halladay sets. Here's the first pitch. Grounded to first. Over base. Got it. And that's it for the Rays. They leave 2. Now, can the Jays provide a win for Roy Halladay in the bottom of the 9th inning? Is this the last time he walks off as a member of this team? It's been your typical 9 innings of work for Roy Halladay tonight. He gets out of the 9th, leaving 2, striking out a pair and inducing a ground ball from Gabe Gross, and he gets the handshake that normally means that's it for you. As an appreciative Cito Gaston and now Ricky Romero extend a hand.
Now let's win it.
Do the man some justice. However, as you know, Pat, extra innings have not been kind to the Blue Jays this year as Aaron Hill takes a big cut. They are 4 for 8 in extra inning games and have not won one since May the 2nd, when the man at the plate, Aaron Hill, singled home Rod Barajas to defeat the Baltimore Orioles.
4 and 8.
So let's avoid extras and get it done here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Although they are 3 and 1 here. 3 of those 4 wins are right here. 1 and 7 on the road in extra innings.
The heart of the order coming up: Hill, Lind, and Rowland. The announced crowd is a rather light 24,161, but they are awfully loud right now. Seemingly lost in this impressive outing tonight from Roy Halladay is the fact that Matt Garza has not gone away.
Boy, he has matched him pitch for pitch. Halladay has given up 4 hits and 2 runs. Garza 5 hits and 2 runs.
Ooh, there goes Hill. My goodness, he just blew that past him, 96 miles an hour.
Still got some giddy up in the 9th inning. Climbs the ladder. He can get you out up in the zone, 96 miles an hour with that fastball.
One away now for Adam Lind. Lind is 0 for 3. And he comes into this one having hit safely in 13 consecutive games. The 1-1, and Lind chases ball 2. There's Scott Downs. Ready to go in the event we go to 10. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Lind.
He threw him a great 1-0 changeup that he swung through. He might go back to that here. Don't know if he'll challenge him with a fastball.
Over the plate and fouled away. Seen a bit of a pattern develop on 3-2 when one of the Blue Jay hitters fouls off a fastball. Garza continues to throw it until he feels it's time to go to the breaking ball. Here a variety of signs being thrown down. And now on 3-2, here's the breaking ball, and that catches the corner for strike 3, and that's the way he's been getting guys out on 3-2.
Dropping a changeup or dropping a curveball. He kept shaking off Hernandez, and I think that was the decoy, Adam Lind. Fastball, no, he shook him off about 3, 4, 5 times before they went back to the curveball and drops it right on the outside corner.
So Garza here in the 9th inning gets back-to-back strikeouts, and now Scott Rowland. He's doubled in 3 trips. His 7th home run of the year came Tuesday night against Cleveland. It almost had the game won until the Indians rallied for 2 in the 9th inning. He could end this one here with a long ball and put a 12th victory in the pocket of Roy Halladay.
He's got himself in a good count here for a fastball. Looks like they're going to try and come inside on Scott Rowland.
They do, and it's now 3-0. Rowland is taking its 3-1. Garza's pitch count now at 114.
This is the longest he has gone all season long. Through 8 innings back in May.
3-1. And now a full count on Rowland.
His last 3 starts, he 5 innings, 6 1/3 in 5 innings. So he is well rested for this start.
Right-hander Dan Wheeler starts to warm.
Just in case there's 2-out trouble.
There's Garza flapping his glove. Here's the payoff, and he gets Rowland swinging. Strikes out the side in the 9th. He is matching Halladay pitch for pitch and has done so all night long. So we will in fact go to extra innings tonight at Rogers Center, and Halladay's night is over. Scott Downs comes in from the bullpen. He'll face the Rays next. 15 pitches thrown and 10 strikeouts.
At one time, he set down 16 in a row. He finished strong. Those 10 strikeouts for Halladay. Second most this year. He had 14 earlier this year. If you remember that game, Jamie, that was against the Angels. So his night is finished. 9 good innings for Halladay. He will turn it over to Scott Downs here in the top of the inning.
Downs is 1-1 on the year. Took a blown save and the loss on Tuesday night against Cleveland as they rallied for a pair and came back to defeat the Blue Jays 2-1. So he's in to face the catcher Hernandez and gets a strike. 0-2. Jason Bartlett, the number 9 hitter's on deck, and then B.J. Upton would hit third. Downs has held right-handers to a nifty 2.05 average this year. 2 strikes on the catcher. Here comes the pitch. He doesn't chase. It's 1-2.
He's been able to do that because he's got that good sweeping curveball. That looks like what they're going to be throwing to Hernandez here. Halladay got him last time up. 3 straight curveballs for a strikeout. Downs the same way.
The Rays are continuing a trend here tonight as they have seen their production fall off dramatically this month. Coming into tonight's ball game, 11 times in 17 games this month, they've been held to 3 runs or less. And so far here in the top of the 10th, just 2 scored against the Jays.
Hard to believe when they have Pena, who is tied for the league in home runs. Carl Crawford, who leads the league in stolen bases, and guys with batting averages like Jason Bartlett, 3rd in the American League in average. RBIs, Longoria's up there. And Ben Zobrist, 5 All-Stars.
Downs with a pitch. In at the knees, 2-2.
But it happens every year to teams. Good teams, bad teams, mediocre teams, whatever. Your pitching staff has to carry you because at times you run into team slumps.
The 2-2. Hit in the air, high and deep to left field. Inglet over in the corner. And the ball gets away from him.
But he knows that he was going to get into that wall area. It's a foul ball. So what you'll see from outfielders, to protect themselves, they will slide so there's a little cushion as their legs go into the wall. Ball lands in the seats, first row.
Downs comes again with a breaking pitch, and it's 3-2. And he walks the catcher Hernandez. Meanwhile, Matt Garza gets a handshake from his skipper. So it appears his night is now over. Pat, the way both starting pitchers threw tonight, it's a shame one of them will not get a victory in this game as Gabe Kapler comes in. He'll pinch run for Hernandez.
This is the situation like the other night when Scott Downs came in. A leadoff infield single. They pinch ran for him. Bartlett is squaring around. He's going to sacrifice and try and get Kapler in the scoring position.
Now he's swinging, and he lines it to Scudero, who throws back to first and almost throws wildly. There's Kapler diving back in there safely.
Well, they took it off. He was squaring around to give himself up. Sometimes it's better to be lucky. This one right at Scudero. Really no chance to get Kapler over at first base.
So Downs retires Bartlett and now faces B.J. Upton. Upton is 1 for 4. His double in the third, part of a 2-run inning for the Rays. They jumped out to the lead then, but the Blue Jays got 2 back in the bottom of the inning. Neither team has scored since. 1-0 is the count. Here comes Downs. That breaking ball sweeps in and misses inside. 2-0.
In that inning, a cross-up between Halladay and Barajas allowed Upton to get to third base and score a couple pitches later to tie or to put them up, and that's the difference of the game, and it's tied.
Here's a grounder for Hill. He goes to second. They get Kapler. And so Upton arrives at first on a fielder's choice. And there are 2 away in the 10th. Snap throw over, and Upton just gets back in time.
Now see, put that in the mind of B.J. Upton now, that he's got that snap off or step off snap throw over to first base. Just gets back. A threat to steal. He's got 32 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 9 times. So you put that in his mind, and maybe he starts to think, well, is he going to come over here? What's he going to do? Put some indecision in the mind of B.J. Upton. Good numbers for Crawford in his career versus Scott Downs.
Upton taking a very aggressive lead over at first. Here is the pitch from Downs, and it's low. Though he swiped 32 bags this year, the Blue Jays have the right man on the mound.
With that step off throw and a left-hander to hold runners.
Another throw over, and Upton gets back.
Just the thought of maybe stealing a base here puts a little pressure on everybody.
It might be affecting Scott Downs right now. The count against Crawford is 2-0. He's keeping an eye on Upton while dealing with Crawford. Here comes the pitch, and that misses too. And he is in danger now of walking Carl Crawford. And pushing up Upton into scoring position. He walks Crawford. Well, that puts a man in scoring position for the Rays, with Tampa Bay's RBI leader coming to the plate in Evan Longoria.
They also have a stat to the Tampa Bay Rays about game tying and go-ahead RBIs. The leader of that is Evan Longoria. Longoria's got 17 game tying or go-ahead RBIs this year.
Tampa Bay is 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Here is the first pitch, and Downs misses for ball 1. There's a strike. But Downs gets one over to even the count. And Scudero covered second, but Downs holds on to the ball.
Infielders now thinking, hey, knock the ball down. There's a ball on the ground and you can't make a play on it. At least knock it down so Upton doesn't score. Infield deep. Outfield normal depth.
Two and one.
Alex Rios has got to contend with the ball. He's also got to contend with a couple of birds that are flocking right around him. Look at that. Base hit out there. He's going to be scattering the birds.
There's a reason not to chew sunflower seeds during a ball game. You attract the pigeons.
That must be gay gross, right?
They're looking for leftovers out there. 2 and 1. And there's a strike. So it's 2 and 2 on Longoria. Tampa Bay's threatening here on the top of the 10th inning. Upton and Crawford on base, 2 gone. Longoria at the plate with a 2-2 count. Downs hoping to give his team a chance in the bottom of the 10th inning. But first he'll have to retire a very difficult hitter. Ooh, and that just missed.
Runners will be going. He's been throwing him curveballs, breaking balls when he's been behind on the count. And it has surprised Evan Longoria. Took it for strike 1. He took it for strike 2. Now 3-2, 2 outs. The runners get a head start.
There go the runners. Here comes the pitch. Lifted into left field. Inglett coming on, and he can't get to it. In comes Upton. Crawford comes around. And the Rays in the 10th inning take a 2-run lead.
He leads the team in game-tying or go-ahead RBIs. It's not hit very hard. Indeed, he goes back to the curveball. He's jammed a little bit. But with the runners running on the pitch and lots of speed out there, ball lofted into left center field when Joe Inglet dives for it and then knocks it away from him. That's going to allow Carl Crawford to come all the way around from first base for a very important second run.
A double for Longoria with 2 out in the 10th inning. RBIs number 73 and 74. As the ball is grounded to Hill, he'll throw to first, and that gets the job done in the 10th, but not before Longoria brings in 2, and Tampa Bay has the lead with Overbay leading off the Jays half of the 10th. The major leagues and keep you updated on the rain-plagued Canadian Open going on down the road from here at Glen Abbey. Matt Garza, 9 strong innings and in position to get a victory here for the first time since he won here in June.
2 earned runs, 2 for him, no walks, and he got stronger as the game went along, striking out the side in the 9th inning. He will give way now to the closer of the Tampa Bay Rays. That is J.P. Howell. Great numbers, 5-2, a 193 earned run average. He is 10 for 15 in save opportunities. He has saved all 4 games that the Rays have won on this road trip. He has allowed just 1 base runner on this road trip.
Overbay, Wells, and Rios are coming up for the Jays in the bottom of the 10th. As we stated earlier, it's a shame the Jays had to get into extra innings because they have not fared well at all, with just 4 victories and 8 losses when the game goes beyond 9. And they're in a hole here, bottom of the 10th. Dioner Navarro is the new catcher, and he's combined with Howell to get 2 strikes on Overbay. Here's the 1-2, and a breaking ball gets away from Navarro. Howell's had a very good season, ranks in the top categories among American League relievers. Number 3 in appearances, number 3 in strikeouts. 4th with an earned run average of 193. And on the 2-2, he gets over base swinging.
He'll get those strikeouts with a good overhand curveball. Hit the 2 strike. Figure you're going to get this right over the top. 1 down.
Here's Wells, and he is 0 for 3. Takes a cut, falling behind 0-1. On the Blue Jays' most recent road trip through New York, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore, over a total of 10 games, they lost 3 in extra innings. Twice in Tampa, they were victims of a walk-off win by the Rays. Funny, early part of the year against some of those American League Central and West teams, the Jays couldn't lose in extras.
Yeah, fun things were happening. Big clutch hits late in games. Defensive plays. Right now, that's not working.
Howell with a pitch, and that gets away from Navarro. Got him.
Another off-speed pitch from Howell. Down and away, and Wells just swings right over the top of it. Howell's been so good. His last 22 appearances, 21 of them have been scoreless.
Liner right there, caught by Zobrist, and that is the ball game. An extra inning loss to the Rays, who pick up 2 in the top of the 10th. Howell comes in and picks up his 11th save. Matt Garza wins for the first time since beating the Jays in late June.